So I want to talk a little bit about firewalking, which is an attack we'll be looking at this week. So firewalking is a way of learning something about your target network, and it's based on traceroute. So if you don't remember, traceroute is a way to see what path your packets take toward a particular computer. So what other routers and hosts it goes through. So let's say I know the IP of this target, and there's something about this network I don't know. So it's got two firewalls, but I don't know that. I've got my attacking computer. So I send a trace route on port 23. It gets to the first firewall. Port 23 is closed, so I don't learn anything about the route to the target. I just get to the firewall and my packets are dropped. On the other hand, maybe I use port 53, DNS. Maybe port 53 is open. I send a packet. It gets to go through. It's also open on this firewall, and I get to my target host. So now I've kind of learned a lot about my target network, right? I've learned that there's two firewalls in between target host. I've learned that port 53 is open on both of them. Alternatively, I could use port 123. That might be open on firewall 1. Then I get to firewall 2, and then that's blocked. So I'm really learning a lot about my target network just by sending these trace routes on particular paths. Alright, so we're going to simulate that in our video today. We're going to simulate the case where we've got sort of one collie here, one collie here, and then pfSense will be this firewall here, and we'll just have one firewall for this demonstration. Alright, so we're going to make a lot of changes to our pfSense, and we're not going to want to keep those changes around for the rest of our attacks, so I'm just going to clone this guy. Here's my clone, and I'm going to make a bunch of changes to this clone. So if I go into settings, here's my normal network, NAT, adapter 1 is on internal network, adapter 2 is on internal network 2. If you've got DHCP running on this network, you probably want to turn that off because we're going to have pfSense run DHCP for both. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. Fbox manage, blah, blah, blah. Alright, and I've got my Kali. So this guy's on internal network. And then I've got my other Kali. So this is going to be my victim, internal network 2. Excuse me, this is going to be my attacker. So let's go to pfSense. Let's go configure our pfSense firewall now. So first of all, you want to log in. So go to https 192.168.1.1. It's going to ask you for a password. That's going to be admin pfSense. Then you're going to want to click on interface, and on yours there's going to be a button to click add. I've already added mine. So it's going to be called opt on yours. So if you click on that, change it to LAN 2, static IP 192.168.2.1. That's going to be your DHCP server. And then go over to services, turn on, I'll go to LAN 2, turn on DHCP, and use these settings. And go ahead and click save. Alright, so now we need some firewall rules. Alright, so go over to LAN 2. So we want to have rules on this particular interface between our attacker and our victim. So first of all, we're going to want to have an open rule. So go ahead, this is going to be the port that's open that we're going to find with our scan. So we want to pass through traffic here, and we want TCP UDP, and we want source LAN 2, destination LAN, that's where our victim is, and we want to put 1337. Go ahead and click save. Alright, so first of all, let's start off with reject. We're going to come back and think about why, if this is right. But put on reject, LAN net 2, LAN, save. And then I've also got this other rule, allow all. That's so you don't accidentally lock your network out after you put these other two rules. But you don't, strictly speaking, need this rule at the moment. Alright, so we've got these rules. So let's go back to our attacker. So I want to trace route 101. So what is this saying? So this says I want to use trace route. I want to do a particular port. So this is a port that's not open. And I want to use TCP because I'm setting particular ports. And this is my victim, 192.168.1.101. Alright, so I have the manual here. So this is saying I send out a TCP SYN, and if the port's closed, I'm going to get a reset. So if we go back here, I'm sending a reject, so that's a reset. So what happens if I send to something that's not there, or something that's blocked? It's going to send me a reset. So it says, it's basically telling me that in one hop I got to 101, which is not accurate, right? In one hop I get just to the router, which is my pfSINs. Alright, so we don't want this to be a reject, we want this to be block. So go ahead and click save, apply changes. So what's the difference? Block is just going to drop the packet, so we're not going to get an erroneous message saying that the router is listening on this port. Alright, so let's try and reach 101 now. And now we're not going to be able to do it. Alright, so let's go to 107. Alright, so now we've found an open port, and we see that there's 2 hops to it, so we got to this gateway, so this must be our firewall, which it is. And this is our target, so we know that port 1337 is open. So going back to our example here, we've really learned something interesting about our network. We've learned that it looked kind of like this, that there's one port open, 1337. We could look for the other ports. As you can see, we haven't got any other ports open. So that's quite useful as we start to plan our attack. All right, thanks for watching, and we will pick back up later.